Welcome back, team. Vaughan here from Longevity Plus, guiding you towards longevity and an active life. In the previous video, we activated your mojo, we got things kick-started. Now it's time to take things up a notch. Welcome to Get Your Mojo Back number 4. We're looking at the exercise progressions. Couple of things I want to say before we get started. First off, I'm videoing this at a time I don't normally do it. We've got fading light outside. I've got my lighting on, but let's just see how things go. Secondly, where I live, there's a ton of mosquitoes. They've been doing something called fogging outside. It reeks. Honestly, it's so heavy, the smell. It's like I'm chewing on my own week-old socks. So please excuse me if I kind of pull a few strange faces. I'm going to blame that. So with that out of the way, let's roll the intro. Before we dive in, let's recap our journey so far. Here's those crazy ED statistics. In the previous videos, we've been looking at those low-hanging fruit that we can pick to attack our mojo and our longevity head-on. Remember, part 3 was our Move 101 level. But where do we go next? Our mojo and longevity journey is a path of continual growth. That's where Move 102 steps in. Now, I'm not going to recap how and why exercise is essential for increasing your mojo. I'm just going to point over here. I'm also going to hold back from rambling on and on about those extra side benefits from exercise that also impact your mojo. I'm just going to point over here again. If you do want more detail, check out part 3. I'll put the link in the description below. Move 102 isn't about doing more. It's about doing better, smarter. Simple progressions become our guiding principle. And that directly impacts on the bigger for longer aspect of our mojo. Let's get straight into it. Remember those hip mobilization exercises? Well, they were the foundation. Mobility is great, but adding strength and stability is going to keep things working for longer down there. Please note, if you don't yet have the full mobility to get to this ass-to-ground position like I have in this picture, don't worry, just keep working on the exercises from Get Your Mojo Back number 3. Okay, it's time for voiceover, Vaughan. For this progression in our hip mobility, simply lock your elbows against your knees to add some resistance and squeeze your knees inwards. Start gently, as this can be quite intense on the groin muscles for some people. Stay in this deep squat position for 60 seconds. However, try and add these inward squeezes for a 5 to 10 second count with a 5-second rest between squeezes. Repeat every day, twice if you have time. Alright, exercise number 2. We're going to boost your pelvic floor. Now, we covered the why in the previous video, but I do think it's important we quickly cover that again, especially for any new viewers. Boosting your pelvic floor is essential for maintaining your and keeping control of your. Added benefit is better hip strength and stability, therefore better balance and movement. Pelvic floor strength isn't just about isolated contractions. Now we're going to blend it with some dynamic movements. Controlled arm and leg movements helps to stabilize the hips, create more core engagement, and of course fuel that mojo. Start with your arms and upper legs at 90-degree angle to the floor. You can bend your knees. While keeping your core engaged and the pelvic floor muscles squeezed, alternately move your opposite leg and arm away from each other. You must keep your lower back pressed into the floor at all times. So a key point to remember here is to only move your arms and legs as far away from each other as you can while still maintaining lower back contact with the floor. If you feel your lower back starting to arch, like it's showing here, then that is as far as your range of motion is currently capable of. Use a shorter range of motion, like the clip is showing now. You will be able to increase the range of motion as your core and hips get stronger. Try not to hold your breath during this exercise. Just take breaths when you need to. Just important to keep that core engaged and keep the pelvic floor squeezed. Also remember, faster is not better. Engage that mind-muscle connection rather than rush through the reps thinking that you're doing better going faster. Start with 5 reps on each side. Try and build that up to 20 slow and steady reps. Now rest 30 seconds and repeat for a total of 3 sets. Moving on to exercise number 3, dynamic squats. It's time to ramp up the difficulty a little. No more static holds. We're going to be getting the joints moving. We're going to be looking at controlled repetitions. Why? This will add dynamic load to the movement. It will create more hip power and stability and more blood flow down where we need it. And don't forget the testosterone boost that comes from doing squats. It's a win-win. Now you can start with just your body weight, or if you've got a kettlebell or a dumbbell, you can use those. Otherwise, get an old bag, get an old pack, fill it full of books, put some water bottles in there, whatever it takes to add some resistance. Okay, now it's time for the voiceover Vaughan to show you through the exercise. Our goal is to squat down to get our thighs parallel with the floor or below with slow controlled repetitions. Slow and controlled is always safer and better for strength and stability. If your mobility is still not quite where it needs to be, put your heels on some weight plates like in the picture here, or some old books. This will help to keep your heels in contact with the floor. You're going to have better balance and be able to keep the weight evenly distributed through your foot. If you're still struggling with that, you can put a bench or a chair behind you and you can squat down until you touch. Keep your lower back flat, breathe in on the way down, breathe out on the way up. Your goal is to aim for 15 to 20 slow repetitions. If you can only do 5 at the moment, don't worry, build it up over the coming weeks. Do 3 sets with a 30-second rest between each set. Exercise 4, cardio. The importance of cardio remains the same, we just want to take it up to the next level. We're going to put small bursts of HIIT or high intensity interval training into your brisk walking. I do want to emphasize though, if you haven't mastered the exercises from Move 101 in the previous video, that's Get Your Mojo Back Part 3, I would recommend you keep working on your cardiovascular exercise there until you're ready to attack this new progression. Your goal is to simply add 30 to 60 seconds of higher intensity cardio every 5 minutes during that 30-minute brisk walk. That could be simply going full out with your walk to maximum effort or breaking into a slow jog. Your goal for Move 102 for cardio is to be able to reach 60 seconds for each of your intervals during your 30-minute brisk walk. And so that's a wrap on our progressions to Move 102. So until next time, keep moving, keep improving, and keep that mojo alive. And don't forget, if you haven't already, please comment below, press the subscribe button, press the bell icon so you'll always be notified when a new video is released. And hey, stay tuned for the tip of the week. Water.
Drink a lot of water.